Good afternoon, Nighthawks. Want to go over a few items in Module 3 real quick with you. Module 3 is going to cover chapters 7, 8, and 9. If you're looking in your textbook, chapter 7 starts on page 123. Some of the objectives that you'll learn is you'll know how to explore agency-based health information systems, evaluate how administrators use core systems in their practice, and assess the function and information output from selected information used in healthcare organizations. Chapter 7, 8, and 9, once again, it covers a lot of material. You're going to understand or have a better understanding of healthcare organizations and how they integrate a variety of clinical and administrative types of information systems. And these systems collect, process, and distribute, once again, tongue-tied, patient-centered data to aid in managing and providing of care. Um, You'll want to make sure that you understand interoperability and that in 2015, the Office of the National Coordinator for Health, IT, or ONC, released an interoperability roadmap. And the goal was to achieve nationwide interoperability and to promote a person-centered learning health system. And so these are things that you want to keep in mind. Some of the types of interoperability that you'll run through is a foundational interoperability. That's a data exchange between information systems without data interpretation. Structural interoperability, the movement of health data, preserving the data meaning. And semantic interoperability, which is at its highest level. And this is going to be the ability of two or more systems to exchange and use information, receiving technology systems that can interpret the data and supports the electronic exchange of financial data, patient-created wellness data, and patient summary information among caregivers. Make sure you understand case management information system. You are going to see this beginning in your book on page 125, and it's only a couple of pages that are entailed in this, but you're going to want to read through this. There's some very important information you're going to carry with you moving forward. The case management information systems, or CMIS, identify resources, patterns, and variances in care to prevent costly complications related to chronic conditions and enhance the overall outcomes for patients. Once a trend is identified, case management systems provide decision support to promote preventive care. And this is a lot of what you're going to be doing in your profession. And so this is a very important section of the book to make sure you understand. Uh, then a care plan is a set of, and make sure you know that a care plan is a set of care guidelines that outline the course of treatment and the recommended interventions that should be implemented to achieve optimal results. Um, you'll also want to make sure you know that case management systems assimilate massive amounts of information obtained over a patient's lifetime by reaching far beyond the walls of the hospital and track care from one medical visit to the next. If this sounds familiar to you, that's because it sounds a lot like EHR, electronic health records. IT trends in case management, the integration of case management software into EHR. And this is where you're going to start looking on your book at around page 130. It'll start under patient care support systems, and you'll see several bold face wording throughout there that you're going to want to learn. Um, uh, Core business systems is another item that you're going to want to learn. This is something you're going to use in your professional life. Core business systems enhance administrative tasks within healthcare organizations. They're systems that provide the framework for reimbursement, support of best practices, quality control, resource allocation. Four common core business systems: administration, discharge and transfer, or better known as ADT, financial, acuity systems, and scheduling systems. Make sure you understand ADT. You're going to find these under core business systems on page 128 and 129 in your text. And then on page 130, you'll begin with the patient care support systems, and you'll see where we get into electronic health records a little more in depth on that page as well. Moving into chapter 8, the human technology interface. And the things that you're going to learn here, you're going to be able to describe the human technology interface, explore human technology interface problems, and reflect on the future of human technology interface. Chapter 8 begins on page 139 in your book. And the human technology interface is going to be on the lower right after the introduction. You're going to really want to read through this and explain it and be able to understand it, excuse me, and be able to explain it. Um, some examples of human technology interface is the biggest one for us in our line of work is going to be the electronic health records or EHR. Other examples would be the defibrillator, patient-controlled anesthesia pump or the PCA, a drug administer system, electronic thermometers, things of that nature. Success of the interface is dependent upon how well the design of the technology meets the user's needs. And as quickly as we're seeing things change in the workforce, that could never be more true today than ever. The design must account for human factors, ergonomics, and workflow. When we talk about human factors, probably the number one drawback is bad input. Some of the back to the technology interface problems, the major cause of up to 87% of all patient monitoring incidents is not the technology, it is the design that may lead users to make errors, such as poor input. Technology should fit 5 levels of human requirements: physical, psychological, team, organizational, and political. So, and this is something you're going to want to know for your group project. Hint, hint. Some analysis tools and techniques, task analysis, CTA, which stands for cognitive task analysis, or CWA, which is cognitive work analysis. You're going to want to know these terms. And you will find these beginning on page 43 in your book and up through 146. Let's see. You want to make sure you understand the fit module, excuse me, model, FITT, fit between individuals, tasks, and technology. This suggests that each of these factors be considered in designing and evaluating human technology interfaces. Uh, you want to make sure you understand some of the issues associated with wearable technology. How will people use this technology? How will they behave when it's on their person? Will they act different when they're not wearing their watch? When we're wearing our Apple Watch, for example, am I more inclined to take stairs instead of an elevator so I can close my rings, things of that nature? How will they wear it? Will they wear it as a watch? Now we have glasses that we can wear that do something similar. We also have rings that we can wear that does something similar. How and when will they enable and use it? And will others be able to detect the technology? Is it something that is quaint and so that no one else knows we're wearing it? Is the information being given to a third party? Things of that nature. In the ideal world, every human technology interface will be designed to enhance the user's workflow, easy to use, no different than using an ATM, and they have been fully tested prior to implementation. I'm not sure we always see that, but that would be a perfect world setting. And that's really all there is for chapter 8. I would say chapter 7, if you're going to spend time on one or the other, spend a little more on chapter 7 than 8. Chapter 8 is equally important. We're going to move into chapter 9 and looking at your book, chapter 9, and I'm going to do this in all the lectures, so just get used to it. Chapter 9 is going to start on page 157 of your text. Some of the things you're going to want to learn are how to assess processes for securing electronic information in a computer network, identifying various methods of user authentication and relate authentication to a security network, and explain methods to anticipate and prevent typical threats to network security. You are going to find securing network information on page 158 and authentication of users on page 159 and 160. These are very, very important 2 or 3 pages that to know. You are going to, no matter what organization you're in, you're going to be tested. You're going to complete training to make sure that you understand security within your network, within your company, within your corporation. It only takes one phishing email to completely bring down an entire system. Securing network information, the linking of computers together and to the outside creates the possibility of breach. of network security and exposes information to unauthorized use. The last thing we want to do is have a situation in which patient information is leaked out. Three main areas of secure network information are confidentiality, availability, and integrity. Let's see. I want to move over to page 166 of your book, Offsite Use of Portable Devices. And let's see. Some offsite uses of portable devices such as laptops, tablets, home computing systems, smartphones, smart devices, and portable devices can help streamline the delivery of healthcare. It also opens up a door for security breaches. 43% of data breaches are in the unintentional category, where it's been lost or stolen devices or individuals walking away from a workstation without logging off. A lot of times, if you accept cookies, a cookie is a very small file that's written to the hard drive of the user surfing the internet. On a negative side, cookies can also follow the user's travels on the internet. Spying cookies are used for marketing typically and do not track keystrokes, but steal user IDs and passwords. Phishing is a huge, huge problem. Phishing is an attempt to steal information by manipulating the recipient of an email or phone call to provide passwords or private information. There's a lot of phishing scams that are out there. Amazon is a big one. The way you can always know before you open is look where the item came from. Typically, they're not going to email you asking you for passwords. No one, to my knowledge, will do that. So if anyone ever does, immediately report that to your IT or security. Do not open the email. Um, Other social engineering schemes outside of phishing is called spear phishing, specifically targeting scheme using contact information provided in an organization's directory. Baiting, a malware-infected USB drive left in a public area. You're like, oh, free USB, but in all likelihood, there could be a very nasty worm or virus on there. Scareware reports that the user has been hacked and tricks them into giving hacker remote access and computer to fix it. I've seen a lot of these with my Apple where they're saying, hey, download this so Apple we can clean your Apple device for you. And those are typically scarewares. The number one security threat to a corporate network is a malicious insider. That's an individual working within the company. Um, Downloading a worm or a virus. There's also software available to track and thus monitor employee activity. A lot of companies are doing that where they can see the keystrokes, they can see everything you're doing. And it's not that you're not trusted, it's to keep information private and intact. Depending on the number of employees, organizations may also employ a full-time electronic auditor who does nothing but monitor activity logs. This is very common in corporate America. Some of the security tools that are used, there's a wide range available to organizations to protect the organizational network and information. These tools can be either software solutions, such as an antivirus software, or hardware tools, such as a proxy server. Make sure that you go into your book and pages 167 and 168 and look over the security information. One of the biggest pieces of security that we use is a firewall, and a firewall can either be a hardware or a software or a combination of both. A firewall can be set up to examine traffic to and from the network. Firewalls are basically electronic security guards at the gate of the corporate network, allowing some items in, allowing some items not to go out. Proxy servers, because I mentioned this earlier, hardware security tool to help protect the organization against security breaches. There's many, many devices, such as intrusion detection systems, hardware and software to monitor who is using the organizational network and what files that the user has accessed. The offsite use of portable devices. Um, I know at UNG we have access to a VPN in which the gateway is always encrypted, and this is becoming more and more common throughout corporate America, throughout even small business offices. It's Let's see, what else do we have here? And that's really going to be about it. There's not as much to read in chapters 8 and 9, but the information is very important. If you have any questions, reach out and let me know. A lot of this information are going to be in your PowerPoint slides. You'll also see some optional videos uploaded for reviewing. Other than that, make sure you're checking your calendar, your D2L modules, your discussions, your assignments, and keep in mind all quizzes and exams are due at noon. Other than that, have a fantastic week, and I can't wait to see everyone again. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night, Hog Nation. Bye bye.